Welcome to Wildcat Sports Update. I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and today in studio I have three of our varsity baseball playing seniors. I'd like to introduce first, we go to Jacob Roque, we've got Mike Monforte, and we've got Brett Ebert. So welcome, guys, and caveat to all this is I do coach the JV team, so I've been around these guys for probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, so probably everything they're going to say to me I've probably already heard before. But let's go down the line. Jake, you start. Introduce yourself, how long you play baseball, how long you played varsity, and what positions you play.
Jacob Roque, I'm a senior captain. I'm a shortstop and pitcher for the team. I've played varsity for 3 years, and I've played baseball a total of 14 years.
Okay, Mike?
I'm Mike Monforte. I'm senior captain. I'm a catcher for the team, and I've played varsity the last 2 years, and I've been playing baseball about 14 years.
Okay, Brett,
I'm Brett Ebert. I played varsity for 2 years, and I have been playing baseball ever since I was like 2. Don't even know how many years that was.
14 years.
14.
If everyone else played 14, Brett, you must have played 14.
I don't know if I played more or not.
That's good, though. Real quick, also, we're missing 2 seniors, Brett Gallucci and Captain Patrick Stokes, who is on a field trip to Germany right now. So we'll miss them and maybe get Patrick on at a later show to talk to the captain's wives. For my 2 captains, real quickly, your role as a captain, Jake, and how do you see it, and what does that mean?
It was kind of cool because the team kind of voted on it, so they kind of trusted me with everything and looked up upon me. And as like freshman year, I got cut, so as a sophomore, I kind of looking up to those 4 captains, and now I'm one of them. It's kind of cool to see.
Okay, and Mike?
It was a little bit different for me because the coach brought me up as a captain as the season started, so I took that as just a little bit of extra responsibility, try and be more of a leader for the rest of the guys and just keep doing my job.
Did you see that coming?
No, I didn't
Not
see
at
it at
all?
all. No.
Okay. And Brett, as a senior, how do you see your role, senior leadership?
I mean, I just feel like I'm kind of like a role model to some of the kids, like especially like the freshmen. They all like look up to all of us for questions. Even though I'm not a captain, they still ask me.
That's good to hear. So, Brett, real quickly, positions that you play second base in the outfield now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the, I want to try to get everybody mentioned on the team, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Right first, I'll give you who are our outfielders this year on the varsity?
We got Austin Harper, Burke Zimmer, me, Nolan Joyce, Noah Spencer, Connor Lovell.
Possibly Lars.
He hasn't gotten to play yet. He's still out. Arm's still hurting, and then finally we got Brett Gallucci.
And you're the catcher. Probably we only have 2 or 3 catchers in the whole system.
Yeah.
Who's backing you up?
Right now, I mean, Eric Spinney, but he's also playing short right now, and then Juliet Zimmer as well.
And who are your who's pitching to you right now?
We had Austin Harper, Aiden Balter, and Patrick Stokes start games, and then Burks pitched in relief.
Okay, and Jake, I'll give you the infielders around the horn. First base.
First base, we've had Aiden Balter play a good chunk of the innings, and then while he's pitching, Noah Spencer.
And our second baseman.
And then second, we've had Michael Dinan play, and then mixed in Brendan Walsh a little bit.
Okay, and shortstop.
Shortstop, we have Eric Spinney.
And the caveat to that is you would have been the shortstop, but just give us a quick overview of the injury and how you're progressing and what can we expect.
I dislocated my shoulder in football and basketball, and then got surgery in January, and now I'm 4.5 months out, so around 5 months, hopefully I'll be able to play again.
Okay, and then third baseman, we have whom?
Patrick Stokes, who started almost every game, and then Nolan Richards is a freshman that's gotten some innings over there.
Okay, so I think we got everybody off the top of my head, if I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
So going into the year, what kind of goals did we set as a team, Jake?
Kind of just make the tournament again like last year. Our team had a lot of potential, and we only went 10-10 and got one tournament game. So this year we're trying to get more than one and kind of just have a good season.
Okay, and Mike, how about for yourself? Goals for the team, and then actually, since this is your first year full-time catching, goals for you as well.
So goals for the team, I say, is just try and win more games than last year, make the tournament again, and try and beat past that first round. Then for myself, I just want to be better, especially with hitting-wise, because last year I struggled a little bit there, and this year so far doing better. I want to keep that up. and just catch the best I can too.
Do you think you might catch like every game, every inning? Is that what you're looking, marathon catching?
That's what it seems like. Probably, if not all the games, just about all of them. So.
Okay, and then Brett, going into the year, coming off like Jake said last year's 10-10. I'm not going to ask for goals, but what were your expectations going into this year?
This year I was definitely expecting to make the state tournament again and to at least win half of the games we play. And I kind of wanted to make sure that we won at least one state tournament game.
Because we've struggled over the past couple of years to win one.
Yeah.
Now the big change for everyone this year is we have a new coach, new head coach, new person running the program, Coach McManus. Initial thoughts when we were going to get a new coach and when Coach McManus got hired, do you see big changes between this year and last year, Brett?
I would say so, yeah. I feel like we're much more like organized when it comes to like practice, and we're doing like actual baseball drills, not so much just like hitting IO and hitting the cages. And he's been really working on making us better as like individuals just as much as making us better as a team.
Okay, and first impressions on Coach McManus, Mike?
I really like him. I think he's a great guy, and he definitely knows his baseball stuff a lot better than I think we had in the past with like drills wise at practice and just like in game like pitch calling and stuff like that.
Okay, and Jake, from a sideline perspective, because you're looking, so you actually see the bigger picture because you're not involved day to day. How do you see the transition? How has the team made the transition to new coach? And is it something that might take some time to get everybody adjusted to a new way of thinking?
I think the transition was very smoothly. We were all kind of ready for a new coach because past coach kind of didn't evolve with the game as the game evolved, and Coach McManus is kind of up to date with it, and he's young but also went through it. He played at Wilmington, played at Northeastern, played professionally, so that was really easy. And then he's very easy to talk to. So if a kid has a problem, question about practice, question about game, anything, you talk to him, he's wide open. And then he also listens, so it's a big, hey coach, you think you can do this? And then he'll do it, and I think it's pretty good.
That's good. So we've started the season, as we're taping this right now, it's we're 1-4. We have 2 games this week. We have Watertown and Melrose coming up. How would you describe the start? I'll go with you first, Jake. We're going to get the same question to everybody.
Definitely not the most ideal start. We kind of saw us guiding on a hotter track, but the bats are starting to wake up a little bit, so we're going to start hitting the ball more, putting more runs on the board. But the league's wide open. So many seniors graduated. So many kids are stepping up into new positions for every town, big school, small school. So we can really make a good run.
Okay, and Mike, impressions of the first 5 games?
I agree. It wasn't the start we were looking for, but there's still plenty of season left, plenty more games to win, and we still have a great chance of reaching our goals of getting into the state tournament and making our way into there. So I think good for the rest of the season.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Where do you see the improvement? Where can we make improvement? Where have we started slow? Jake, you talk about a little slow start. Where can we improve as a team, or where can your team improve as a team?
We can improve with the bat still, and we have over the past couple games. We've made some good strides with hitting. We need to keep hitting the ball more and clean up the fielding a little bit. And we've been working at practice, so I think it'll be good once we get those issues cleaned up a little bit.
Okay, and Brett, I'm going to bring in the injury bug that we suffered at the beginning of the year, and you were part of that contingent that came in hurt. First of all, how did you get hurt? What did you hurt? How did you get hurt? And how have you progressed to get to the point now where you're going to start to get regular playing time?
Well, I separated one of the joints in my shoulder when I was playing hockey. We were in the state tournament game against Canton, our last ever game, and I got buried into the corner and separated my shoulder.
Is it the first hockey injury you've had?
Yeah.
And in the last 3
Waited
minutes
for
of
the
game?
last game, yeah. It was great.
So how you've slowly been coming back, correct? And are you fully back now as we speak?
I would say so, yeah.
So you're ready to finally get back on the field full time?
Yeah.
So how is the impact? I know that we got 2 injured players between our catcher. We've had a couple other people hurt. Balter got hurt. Steve was hurt. How has that impacted getting you ready for the season and everybody to get on the same page?
I mean, it was kind of tough, like with missing the beginning, like missing tryouts and everything, because like you got to know the coach, but you didn't get to know like how he practiced, because you had to kind of help with like the coaching and like doing all like the little things, like doing soft toss and like taking advantage of that part, but you couldn't really get any of the work in. So it's also been like I feel like we've almost been falling behind a little bit too. But once we get everyone up to speed, like Mikey said earlier, there's still a lot of season left, so we can easily catch up and become the good baseball team we're meant to be.
So I'm going to stick with you, Brett, again. So what do you think the challenges for you were to overcome? It's not a simple injury or shoulder, especially with baseball.
Yeah.
But what challenge did you see that you tried to overcome, and you had to overcome to get yourself to this point?
There's been a lot of time spent at professional physical therapy, just going from practice every day to there twice a week and then to games, and it's been a very busy schedule. Haven't had a lot of time to sit down and relax, but I mean it's getting me back to being able to play, and I'm glad I get to do that and have a chance at playing the rest of the season.
Okay, I'm going to skip over you, Mike, because you're like the healthiest body that we have here, even considered. And Jake, the challenge that you have faced trying to get back. I know you had a lot of expectations for your senior season and for the team as well as individually. So what do you see your challenges to get back from shoulder surgery, which you had? What challenges you faced?
Similar to Brett, we've been going PT twice a week together, mostly after practice, or like kind of like today we went there in the morning because no school and all that. And then besides that, kind of just like the mental side of it, kind of knowing like you have to wait this long and then you can start playing again, and then you got to build yourself up, this and that. So kind of just getting through it every day and looking on like the bright side, seeing that like I can play this time instead of not being able to play at all.
So you're actually still not on the field, correct?
Correct.
So your contribution is, you were saying, we were joking beforehand, that your position is what right now?
I'm the scoreboard specialist.
Scores, and then actually keep a nice clean book for us, correct?
I do.
How has that impacted you as a captain as well? And you were basketball and now baseball. How does that impact you from a leadership perspective, having to sit down and watch everybody else play?
It's similar to basketball, how you kind of just got to sit back and like watch everything unfold and only be like, not only be a vocal leader, but like mostly be a vocal leader. So like I can watch everything happen, and then something happens, say an error or something, I go up to a kid like, hey, like try this or like do that. Or like go up to Coach McManus, be like, hey, like this kid hit 3 balls to second base, maybe shift second baseman over a little bit, but that's mostly it.
Okay, so now you're going to get 100,000 questions, Mike, because I'm going to be mean to you for a second. Quickly, again, we talked about being basically the lone catcher. So what do you see your challenges going forward for the next 15 games? We've only played 5. If you do have to catch each game, what part of your game will that impact, and what's the challenge to make it through the whole season?
Some of the challenges is just going to be trying to keep my legs in the best shape I can, and not let them wear down. And that just starts with like icing after all the games, and just make sure I stretch good, and keeping my legs in the best shape possible to not break down as the season goes.
So as a catcher, are you responsible then for calling pitches, setting up everybody up, warming people? What do you see your responsibilities as a catcher with new coach McManus?
I've been calling the majority of the pitches. Every now and then I'll look over at Coach McManus and he'll give a sign in to me for a specific pitch if he wants it, but say like 90% of the pitches are on me. And then he'll direct a lot of the fielders around too, but if I ever see something like before he does, I'll tell him to shift over, move in, stuff like that.
So since this is your first time as a full-time catcher for the high school team, has it taken you time to adjust to the different pitchers that we have with Balter and Harper and Zimmer and Stokes and eventually Jake? How's that adjustment period for you, getting used to catching them, or is it just something, it's like riding a bike, you just fall in there, you can do it?
It's been a pretty smooth adjustment, just because over the past years, like even in Little League, I've caught for all of them and all of our summer leagues in the younger years, so I've been familiar with them for a while, so it was pretty smooth going into the real season with them.
Okay, what's the most challenging pitch to catch of those 3 guys, of your 4 guys?
Most challenging pitcher or the pitch?
Pitch to catch. That, like, I mean, a couple years ago when Jack Gillis was playing here, he had a devastating curveball. We knew a catcher could catch it. So what's of all the pitchers we have, the Harper and Balter and Zimmer and even Jake and Stokes, what pitch is the hardest for you to catch?
I say the hardest to catch is either between Harper's changeup or Jake's curveball. They're just both very sharp and just they can have a real bite to them, so they can be difficult sometimes.
Okay, and you're injury free, I assume.
Right now, yep, at least.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Transitioning to Middlesex League, which is a pretty tough baseball league. Like I said, it's tough to start 1-4, and Jake had mentioned a lot of seniors had left. So how do you see the remainder of our? Let's go to the Freedom Division schedule. We've played Wakefield and Stoneham so far. This week we've got Watertown and Melrose coming up. How do you see those two teams that we come play, and what are the opportunities that we have to get off the schneid that we're currently in?
I mean, I think we have a good chance to compete with any of those teams in our Freedom Division, and I think they're all winnable games if we bring our A game. I think a lot of it's just on us to start bringing our best game to those, and I think we have a good chance to win any of them.
And what's it like? I'll stick with you again, Mike. What's it like playing against the Liberty teams, which are the bigger schools? I mean, we played Arlington. I remember I talked to one of the umpires. Arlington had like 80 kids try out, and they've got 1,500 kids in the school, so the school's 3 times the size of ours. What's it like when we play those bigger schools?
Some of the bigger schools can be a little bit intimidating, but I don't think there's any team out there that we can't go up against and compete with. So it can be intimidating, but we can always compete.
Okay, I'm going to stick back to you, Brett. I was going to give you the tough ones now. Just a real quick comparison between this year and last year, talent-wise, attitude-wise, just going forward. How do you see the differences? And we can focus on new coach. We can focus on different groups of players, the injuries. What do you see the differences?
I'd say we lost a couple good guys, and we lost a big guy in Joe Dinan. He was just like a huge baseball player. That's all he ever did. And he was a huge bat for us, big-time pitcher. But I feel like this year we have a much more like tight-knit group, and we can all work together to make big plays instead of just having that one guy make the big plays for us all the time.
And what was it like taking the bus ride to Pittsfield last year?
It was actually pretty good for me. I laid down on my little bench, and I watched Saving Private Ryan the entire bus ride.
The entire bus ride. What about the ride home?
Ride home was definitely interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't go into that right
No.
now. I don't know why it was interesting. So, Jake, same question. Comparison between this year and last year. I know you're looking at it from a different perspective, but how do you see it right now?
I feel like the attitude's a lot different this year. I know a lot of kids last year it was kind of like a drag to be at baseball, and like they had to go. When this year it's like I'm going to baseball. I want to go. And then like just like the kids in general, I feel like all of us have been friends like throughout all 4 grades on the team. We've been friends for quite a while, so we kind of just like knit with each other, and we're hanging out after practice, after games, and then we're just having fun.
Okay, so this is for all three. You guys were all freshman COVID year, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So did you play freshman year, or was that your canceled?
That was our canceled.
So did you think, as I'm going to transition to the challenge that we have in Wilmington to grow the baseball program, start with you, Mike. Do you think that how did that negatively impact us going forward with the amount? We have 5 seniors right now. What do you see the negative impact on that COVID year, that lost year?
I think there's just a lot of the guys that maybe didn't get the opportunity to start playing as a freshman. By the time they came back as a sophomore, they just didn't want to give it the shot that they could have when they were a freshman. So that impacted the amount of kids that we had in our class to play.
So did you guys, you two you played varsity in your sophomore year. Did you guys play JV?
Yeah.
So what were the numbers like at the JV level for that year that we came up to 21 year? Do you remember?
I don't remember the exact number of kids we had on the team, but there was 3-4 kids maybe in our class on the JV team, and that was it. So not many.
Okay. And Brett, what was it like for you? Because you then played varsity as a junior. You all played varsity as junior, correct?
Yep.
So how many of your classmates that you were freshmen with that would have played baseball, do you know that just stopped playing with regards to what happened with COVID? Do you know that number? Your guys were missing?
There had to have been like 3 or 4 guys that I knew of that were going to at least try out, see if they could make JV and see if they liked it at all.
So it's been the 5 of you basically, hasn't it then, for the last 3 years together as a group has been a group of 5. Mm-hmm. And I know that Brett's not here and he's been around the program, and so is Patrick. So What do you? I'm going to write down line each one. I'm going to start with you, Brett. What are your suggestions for how do we grow the program? We have a new coach, a new philosophy. You know, with former coach, he did a great job over 20 years winning, and we did seem to have numbers cycling in. Towards the end, after COVID, we've seen the numbers drop. Like last year on my JV team, I had 12 or 13 players. Now I'm up to 15 or 16. What do you suggest? What's something you bring up? How can we grow the program? And each of you get the same question. Go with you, Brett.
We could definitely get more involved with the Little League. Because especially when I was in Little League, I looked up to the kids who played high school baseball and kind of always wanted to be on the team. And like if we can get involved with them, they'll start looking up to us more. And then if they do that, they're going to want to play for us.
Mike?
I agree with getting involved with the Little League. Like I know on Saturday we're going to be walking in the Little League parade with the younger kids, so that's a good chance for them to like get to meet us because I know that they'll look up to us in that way. And then just I think winning games would help a lot too, because then younger kids will see that like, wow, like they're doing really good. I want to be a part of that program, that sort of thing.
Okay, Jake, I'm going to throw a little wrinkle in for you. How do we keep the kids going to the high school? We've lost a lot of pretty good players to the tech and to private schools. What can we do better as a coaching staff or as a program to keep everybody with us?
Mostly kind of just get more involved. I know Mr. Ingram, who's the new AD now, has the captain academy that's all sports captains, and we've kind of been going back and forth, going to like the middle school lunches to talk to them and everything. And then I know over the winter I had one of the 8th graders shadow me that was kind of 50-50 on the high school and another school. So I feel like just like staying involved and like making a positive impact on the community as like high school sports, and like not just winning games but like doing good things, like going to Little League parades and like just doing like giving back.
So, and this might even be your brother. I don't know what grade your brother's in, but a 5th grade kid, a parent and boy come up to you. What's your advice to the kid and the parent about playing Wilmington High School baseball? What would you tell them?
I'd say do it and kind of just have fun with it, because like if you go in there and you're like kind of stuck up and like I'm only gonna do this, there's like you're not gonna have fun and it's not gonna be a good experience. But like if you're with your friends and you're kind of just like laid back and like maybe I'm in this position but coach wants me here for this game, like just do it and like you'll have fun and then you'll start winning games and then make a lot of memories.
Hey Brett, the 5th grade question. What do you tell the parent and the kid to want to play here at Wilmington High School? Not Brett. I went the wrong point.
Sorry.
We'll go to Mike. Sorry.
I tell them just to try and have as much fun as you can out there. I mean, that's the whole point. It's a game, you know. Make memories with your friends and just look out not what's best for you, but what's best for the team as a whole, and you'll find a role on the team.
Okay, and now Brett, the final question. Well, 8th grade, the 5th grader, what would you say to the parent and the child?
I'd say definitely work hard in practice and make sure to just make friends with the kids on the teams. Don't like try and avoid it just because you think you're cooler than them or whatever. Just make friends with the kids, have fun with everyone you're around, and just enjoy yourself.
Awesome, that's perfect. So now comes the fun part, the individual questions. We're going to start with you because I'm out there. Maybe I'll remember that you're Brett. First off, former teammate that you learned the most, or current that you've learned the most from, baseball teammate.
Oh, that's tough. I'd definitely say I learned a lot from Jake. We've been going back and forth about baseball talk for a lot of years now, and just like going to the field all the time.
Okay. Other activities that you do or sports you do at Wilmington High School?
Football and hockey.
Football and hockey. So you're a 3-sport athlete? That's
Yeah.
good to hear. Favorite moment, baseball-wise, for your high school career and then for overall?
For baseball, I would definitely say sophomore year playing JV practice, and I look over my shoulder and Mikey is sitting down in center field, and someone hits him a fly ball and he just stands up, catches it, puts it back in the bucket, and sits back down.
Okay. And favorite, is there a baseball player that you like to watch on TV, or a favorite athlete who would be a role model? It doesn't have to be baseball.
I don't even know. I'd definitely go with probably like Jacob Roque. I like to model my hockey game after him.
Okay, and who were your baseball influences and any coaches that you want to credit?
I'd definitely say my dad was my biggest influence, and Dan Ardito too.
Your coach. And then what's your number and why do you wear it?
I wear number 2 because as soon as Xander Bogaerts came up to the Red Sox, I wanted to wear number 2.
Didn't I have to root for Justin Turner?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You may play multiple. Do you watch yourself on WCTV?
Hmm?
Do you watch yourself when your games are on WCTV?
Yeah.
And do you criticize or do you just watch and have fun and make fun of the announcers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I normally just make fun of the announcers and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
What's your walk-up song going to be?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
You haven't thought about it yet?
No.
Okay, so let's slide. What are you going to miss the most about high school baseball?
Definitely the memories and just like going to practice every day and having fun.
Okay, and what's the future for my good friend Brett Ebert?
Gonna go into biomedical engineering at UMass Lowell.
So you're one that's a lot smarter than me. Make sure I get the name right. Okay, we'll get your shout out in a minute. Mike, same question. Teammate, former or current that you really learned the most from?
I'd say probably Joey Dinan. Just I learned a lot from his attitude about baseball and his passion for the game, and that just made me want to have that same attitude and work ethic and work extra hard and try and be the best I can be.
Okay, other activities or clubs or societies you belong to at Wilmington High School?
I played golf the past 3 years, but I sat out on it this year.
Sat out golf this year?
Yeah, I hurt my shoulder a little bit last year playing. And
good.
been a while.
And favorite athlete or somebody you model your game after?
I really like JT Realmuto on the Phillies.
Okay.
He's one of the best at catching and just a good role model to look at.
Okay, top baseball moment for Wilmington High School and top baseball moment all time.
Wilmington High School, I'll probably say the Memorial Day tournament last year because we had a game to win in that tournament to make the state tournament, so we were all trying really hard, but also it was just a fun tournament. Like, we had hot dogs behind the dugout. We had just a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Influences for baseball and coaches that you want to credit?
I say my old club baseball coach, Malcolm Cepeda, had the biggest influence on my game, just helping me become a better hitter, and that's really helped me to step up my game.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the walk-up song question first before we get to the number. Walk-up song?
I'm going to do I Am by Lil Baby.
Oh, you took Jake's. That's good. What number do you wear and why?
I wear number 4, and it says while I was younger, I always wore number 40, and then got to high school, that wasn't an option, so 4 was the closest thing.
Okay, and what are you going to miss the most about Wilmington High School baseball?
Definitely, like Brett said, the memories, just hanging out with the guys at practice and even after practice.
And what does the future hold for Mike Monforte?
I'm going to Eastern Nazarene College to study finance and play baseball.
Okay, good. Jake, you get we'll do the walk-up song last just for you. Former teammate, a current teammate, or somebody that you really learned the most from?
Probably Joey Dinan last year. We kind of, when he pitched, I played short. When I pitched, he played short. So kind of, we go back and forth on like talking about pitching or like talking about playing the field, and kind of spent a lot of time like talking about those two things.
Other activities, sports that you do with at high school?
I played not baseball. I played basketball and football.
Okay. Favorite baseball moment for high school and favorite baseball moment all time?
For high school, probably the Memorial Day tournament last year because I feel like that was a pretty good weekend for the whole team, and there's a lot of people and a lot of WCTV cameras there, and I made a couple cool plays.
And do you watch yourself on WCTV?
Quite often.
Quite often?
Yeah.
All right. And influences and coaches you want to credit?
My whole career playing baseball, definitely my dad. He's literally been by my side the whole time, and missed one tournament, and that was because he was in the hospital, and he was quite mad about that. And then Dan Ardito, when I was younger, he kind of set the foundation for me. And then just throughout high school, coaches like Coach Strada and Coach Barnaby at Nor'easters kind of helped me develop as a player to play at the next level.
Good. What number do you wear and why?
I wear number 3 because my first year of Pop Warner football, they gave me number 3, and I kind of stuck with it since.
That's good. And the walk-up song?
I have no idea. He took mine.
He took yours? So if you had gone first, you've been screwed then, Mike. What are you going to miss the most?
Definitely like the relationships I've made with all my buddies, and like that's going to be a bond that's never going to be broken, and I can picture myself 10, 20, 30 years from now still texting them, still calling them, and like trying to reconnect with them whenever we could.
Well, you won't be texting me 30 years from now. I know I'll be around. I'm kidding. What's the future hold for Jake Roque?
Next year I'm going to do a 5th year at Cushing Academy and then find a 4-year college to play at.
Okay, so Jake, you're going to go first. I'm going to look you right into the camera straight over here. Give a shout out to whoever you want.
Shout out Jim Boyle for holding the show and letting me come to his class during school. Shout out Chris Greco, I got yelled at for not doing that. And shout out my family, my mom, my dad, my brothers, all my other aunts, uncles, grandparents. That's about it. All the coaches that helped me get here.
Mike?
I'll give a shout out to all my parents, all my family. I'll give Chris Greco one too, and Jim. Both of you guys letting us go to your classrooms at school, and Nolan Joy so he doesn't get mad.
That's crazy.
All right, we didn't forget Joycey, right, when we did the team, right? Brett, shout out.
Hi, Mom. I'm on TV.
All right. So it's great having you guys on. I know you have to put up with me every day at practice, but I really appreciate what you bring to the team. The high school baseball program is better for the 3 of you guys and the 2 that are missing as well. So thanks to Jake Roque. I want to thank Mike Monforte. I want to thank my good friend Brett Ebert, or Ebes as we call him, for coming on the show. And for Wildcat Sports Update, I'm Jim Boyle, and we'll see you on down the road.
Bang.
I hope they got that.